Peter Nwachukwu is a husband to the famous gospel singer Nwachukwu. This man has been sentenced to die by hanging by the courts. This happened in 2025. Let me give you the full gist. Imagine being a husband, a known husband across Nigeria, to a popular gospel singer, Nwachukwu. This woman is a beloved gospel singer, which many people loved her across the country. The story of Peter Nwachukwu, the husband to Nwachukwu, trended so much in Nigerian gist bloggers, stories. People were carrying it. It spread so well. After the demise of the gospel singer Nwachukwu in April 2022, that's about 3 or 4 years ago, allegations of domestic abuse quickly surfaced. Family members of Nwachukwu were so straightforward with their explanations. The children of this woman gave their own explanations. They gave their own story in court because, of course, courts will ask for their testimonies. The family, the friends, colleagues, all of them claim that behind the success of this famous singer was a marriage filled with fear, filled with violence, filled with control, so much domestic abuse. These allegations led to Peter Nwachukwu's arrest and a trial. Of course, he went through trials that lasted nearly 3 years after the demise of the woman. This man has been under court custody for at least 3 years. He was under trial. So Peter Nwachukwu, is from southeastern Nigeria, and he was reported to be in his early 60s during that trial. Imagine, this man seniors this woman with almost 20 years because Nwachukwu died at the age of 42. That is, this man gave her almost 18 years, and that's too much. Before the controversy, I wouldn't say it's much because it's our choice, before the controversies, he was, largely known in public as Nwachukwu's husband and also manager. Imagine. Many of the songs this woman did, many of the songs she produced, do you know that she wasn't even in control of the funds that were coming out from those songs? Even the times they called her for ministration, the money they paid, this woman was never aware of how much that was paid. This man constantly financially abused Nwachukwu. After her death, his name became very known nationwide as a different reason actually. So the federal government charged him with multiple offenses, including culpable homicide, which I explained in the previous video, domestic violence, cruelty to the children, and some other offenses. Prosecutors argue that years of abuse eventually contributed to Nwachukwu's death. So the trial was closely watched across Nigeria because nobody even wanted that man to escape. Imagine a man you claim to love your wife, but yet you raise your hands, your finger on a woman you claim to love. Is that even love? So I know there are still many men out there who still thinks that correcting a woman is by hitting, by raising your hands on a woman, especially those women that have given birth. Do you think it's easy to go through that route and still be alive? Many women pass through that route and never return. So any man who lays his hands on a woman should be arrested by the government and treated like a person who abuses people. Over the course of the proceedings, prosecutor presented numerous witnesses. Family members witnessed and even testified about what this man has been doing to the woman, the pattern of abuse. Friends of Nwachukwu told the court about conversations they had with her regarding the problems she was going through in her marriage. Perhaps the most emotional testimony even came from some of Nwachukwu's children, the ones that have, gotten of age, that knows what it means for somebody to be abused. So who reportedly described incident that took place inside their house. So the defense, however, denied the allegations and argued that prosecutions have failed to prove that Peter directly caused Nwachukwu's death. So, but as time goes on, as months are going, both sides presented evidences while Nigerians waited to hear the court's final decision, because that man, a person who was reportedly kicking his wife on the chest, is he even supposed to be living? No. Then came April 2025, inside the courtroom of Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja, Justice Nwosu Iheme delivered the judgment that many had been waiting for. In fact, Many people have been waiting for that judgment, and this woman passed the judgment. So the judge ruled that the prosecution has successfully established its case beyond reasonable doubt. So, after reviewing witness testimonies, documentary evidences, and even argument from both sides, this woman was able to tell the courts, like the court found Peter Nwachukwu guilty of culpable homicide in connection with Osinachi's death. So this was what the court ruled. Like the court sentenced Peter Nwachukwu death by hanging for culpable homicide in addition to death sentence. The court imposed various prison terms and fines in order to count related to domestic violence and child cruelty. Imagine this man was even telling his children that it is a good thing to hit a woman. You are teaching your children how to be toxic, how to be bad, how to behave bad towards their own mother. You teach your children how to react badly when a situation comes up. Which father does that kind of a thing? Even if you're having issues with your wife, do you have to teach your children how to be cruel to their own mom? They really marked one of the most high-profile domestic violence, convictions in modern Nigerian history. So the judgment immediately generated reactions across the country. Of course, many people will talk. In fact, I was even scrolling online when I saw some people saying the court should have mercy on this man. The court should mercy on him. Like he shouldn't get what he deserves. Okay, so some Nigerians describe the verdict as justice for Osinachi's by what Osinachi went through, even her children. Others view the case as a warning about marriage violence, domestic violence, and the importance of speaking out before abuse escalates. Some of you that will stay in marriage, you are being abused emotionally, you are being abused financially, you are being abused physically, socially. Some of you, your husband don't even discuss with you. Like some of you are just in marriage all in the name of you want to answer a man's name. Your husband does not even have time for you. They don't even commune with you. Instead of communing with you, they'll go out there to sit in the bar and talk with their friends. They prefer outsiders to you, that is their wife. That is social abuse. And if you don't know so many of the meanings of what these men do to you mentally, go and browse it and know the meaning. This is a modern world where women are no longer being caged, as in those days our mothers suffered all this and were not even able to speak out. Because if you speak, who are you going to talk to? Those men in those years were taking sides for some of these men. Some of these younger generations still wants to take after their father. I'm not saying that all the men in the world are bad. No, there are still good men who value their family, their relationship, their wife, or whoever that is their partner. But in this modern time, even if you sense anything that somebody, either your wife or your husband, is doing to you that is not okay, it's good to report to the police to take care of the matter before it escalates. This particular story really touched the heart of people a lot. Millions of people around the world saw Osinachi as that powerful voice. People enjoyed her music, people speak about her, but after her death, another story just emerged. The story of pain, the allegations of abuse, the in-room battles, the family issues that lasted nearly years, the trials, and finally, both parents are gone. But had it been this woman spoke on time, maybe she would have been saved. The situation might have been savaged. This man wouldn't have been dead. She might still be living. Who knows? Yeah, but in as much as destiny differs, I'll just keep you guys updated.